Donald Trump has the lowest approval rating in the first month or so, or the 2 months of a presidency in American history. Oh, really? But didn't he win all the swing states? Didn't he win the popular vote for the first time in 20 years as a Republican nominee? Didn't he also win the Electoral College vote? Isn't he in control of the White House? Don't the Republicans have the House and the Senate? All of that happened, but there's no Trump mandate. You see the bull? Trump has the power now.
Ooh, we've got a lot of news. I know it's a Friday and you're like, man, I don't really care. Well, it looks like we may have some peace now between Russia and Ukraine. Donald Trump issuing some blistering statements to protect the white farmers in South Africa who are being systematically removed by corrupt government, and some strong words from Russia, a whole bunch of other stuff to discuss today. Absolutely thankful that you're here with me. And thank you, everyone who stopped by my Amazon store yesterday and picked up some coffee. I just want to remind you, please remember to go back to the coffee you bought and leave a review. I'm not even asking anybody to buy anything today. Just if you've bought from my Amazon shop, please go back and go to the product you bought and write a review. It'll take like 30 seconds. You can do it while we're talking here. I want to start with the South African farmers story first. I mean, as a part of this video, because it's one that doesn't get a lot of coverage. Kill the boar might be something you've heard. Not quite sure what it means. You've heard it floating around. Well, essentially, the black government there has basically greenlit not just stealing the land away from British, white settlers that were there and have been there for generations, simply because they are white. But he has also basically greenlit having terrible atrocities done to these people. And they have been suffering, living in fear, being attacked constantly by people who just want to take their land from them forcefully. Well, Donald Trump tweeted this: South Africa is being terrible, plus to long-time farmers in the country. They are confiscating their land and farms, and much worse than that. Yeah, they're ending their lives. A bad place to be right now, and we're stopping all federal funding. To go a step further, any farmer with family from South Africa seeking to flee that country for reasons of safety will be invited into the United States of America with rapid pathway to citizenship. This process will begin immediately. He's saving the white farmers that are being slaughtered there. I have an idea. Donald Trump should confiscate all the land that China has bought in this country and sell it to these people, or let them work it off. Give them a really good loan on it. Let them work the land. Sure, you might make something available to current American citizens too, but if these people are there farming, then let's get them farming here in America. This is just a win-win, and we're saving them from systematic removal by insane racist leadership. And then South Africa can just go back to being a dump again, just like every one of these countries. If you watch, what is the documentary called? Kingdom of Rust? Or Kingdom of Dust? Watch that. A lot of these, like the Chinese went in there and built up all these railways and left it to the local people, and they just let it all fall apart. All this kind of stuff. It's just, it's time, right? It's time to be done with that. He also had this great clip. We love you. Donald Trump is the most pro-woman president of our lifetime.
So 2 very special proclamations. The first of which is a proclamation that proclaims March 2025 as Women's History Month in honor of all the wonderful women in your administration, all the wonderful women in America, and in honor of everything you've done for women and this administration has done for women in just, a month and a half? So.
Yeah, we've done a lot.
Yeah.
And women have done a lot for us, right? This is an honor. We have a wonderful woman here, Maria Bartiromo.
Thank you so much.
Nice to have you, Maria.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, and thanks for all that you're doing for women.
Thank you. That's great. Women, we love you.
Yeah. Too bad Democrats want biological men to break their skulls in volleyball games, but I can't fix everybody. This also, President Trump signing executive order establishing a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Now, I don't know how Bitcoin's doing today, but let's watch this.
This is very historic, an executive order establishing a strategic Bitcoin reserve and digital asset stockpile. This is a promise that you made throughout the campaign, and today we're keeping that promise. The reserve will be capitalized with Bitcoin that the federal government already owns, so it won't cost taxpayers a dime. This is like a digital Fort Knox for digital gold. And
Bitcoin did not move
premature
much.
Sales of Bitcoin over the past years cost American taxpayers over $17 billion in lost value because we didn't have a long-term strategy.
Right.
Now we do. So
And this is something you believe in?
100%, yeah.
Okay.
And the whole community believes in it.
Very good. And I made the promise, right?
Bitcoin is sitting at 86,791. I own $5,000 worth of Bitcoin, which is like 0.0000001 Bitcoin. And I bought it at 93,000, so I've done nothing but lose money. But I thought, hey, this is something, I want to be a part of, and I don't really have a lot of money to risk. So that's worked out great. Just kidding. Breaking also, Trump signs executive order holding those who challenge administration policies in court financially liable when they lose. This is a big one because it's going to stop a lot of this nonsense lawfare, meaning, nonsense lawfare set up to slow down the changes that Donald Trump wants to put in place. There are entire agencies, people, groups of people, lawyers who get paid by who knows, that their literal job is to gum up the system.
Injunction bonds whenever someone tries to challenge our policies in court, so that when they end up losing in court, and we believe that they will end up losing in court, that they can be held financially responsible for the disruption to federal activities that their actions have caused.
Right. Something they've wanted to do a long time, right? They've been looking to do this for years,
Yes, sir.
and why they just never got it.
This is a rule that's been on the books for a very long time. The Department of Justice has been very inconsistent in seeking these bonds.
Love it. I want that fancy box of Sharpies, man. Canadian Senator, by the way, speaking of the tariffs, again, it looks like he has relaxed those as predicted. Canadian Senator challenges Donald Trump Jr. to a charity boxing match over bogus tariffs. Why? I don't know. The whole thing is dumb. I want America to have a fair deal, and I want Canada to have a fair deal. Let's get this over with. Canada, protect the border like Trump wants, and let's get back to the real enemy. I don't really care about, I like Canadians, all of them. And, Trump's just trying to negotiate here. Trudeau's left in office for like a few more days. Hopefully Trudeau can just, do what he needs to do to get this done. And, both parties can move on and we can get back to worrying about the southern border and worrying about, getting all of our money back from all these foreign countries. Speaking of which, of course, big news. Now, Europe fails to reach deal on Ukraine rearmament after emergency talks end without an agreement. Is it because they don't actually have any money, or will follow through on their promises and have to do on all their posturing? So they had done all this posturing over the past week about how Orange Man bad and Europe stands with Ukraine. By the way, this is something that I would argue that the Ukrainian citizens do not support. I'm sorry, Ukrainian citizens probably do. European citizens. Europeans are dealing with a lot, just like everybody. And I don't think that they're interested in, sending their sons and daughters to die for Ukraine. I know that's a crazy thing, but if you're European watching this video, leave a like on the video if I'm on the right path. I mean, eventually, did he kick you out too? Yeah. Again, inside every European, there are two wolves. One that talks trash about America daily, and one that begs America for military intervention and foreign aid. Again, this is the European government I don't have any problem with Europeans. They watch my videos. I enjoy them. And I'm 100% certain that they are not interested in fighting and dying for a stupid proxy war with Russia. I just, I'm kind of done even giving this any kind of pretext that this is anything other than that. This was a stupid proxy war. It needs to end. Now, Russia says, so now all these people kept saying, oh my God, Trump isn't threatening Russia. He's only threatening Ukraine. Well, he put this out based on the fact that Russia is absolutely pounding Ukraine on the battlefield right now. I'm strongly considering large-scale banking sanctions and tariffs on Russia until a ceasefire and final settlement agreement on peace is reached. To Russia and Ukraine, get to the table right now before it is too late. Thank you. And it looks like, I just tweeted out, I thought Trump was only pressuring Ukraine because a lot of the leftoids are like, well, he's pro-Russia and he's not really threatening Russia. Here's Gerald. Shout out, Gerald. I was told emphatically that he was a Putin puppet, but now I don't know what to think. Mark Mitchell, you can probably smell the burned insulation if you're around an NPC. This is the thing. Trump wants peace. He does not want this war to continue. And as of 5 minutes ago, Russia is now reportedly willing to discuss a temporary truce in Ukraine. There is progress towards a final peace agreement. This via Bloomberg. Putin magically, Putin now ready to agree to Ukraine truce with conditions. Now, I don't know what the conditions are. If the conditions are totally bonkers, maybe this is, too much. Let's see here. Russia says Trump's threat of new sanctions won't stop it from achieving its goals in Ukraine. Wait a minute. U.S. officials say assistance to Ukraine's offensive programs have scaled back, but defensive help continues. Russia has said these threats won't stop, but it's pretty clear to me that they are now signaling they are ready for it to be done. And look, nobody won this war. The only people that lost it were, I suppose Zelensky and other people, his rich oligarchs won the war. This is Putin ready to agree to Ukraine truce with conditions. This is, early this morning. Russia is now willing to discuss a temporary truce in Ukraine, provided there is progress towards a final peace settlement, according to people familiar with matters in Moscow. In the first signal of positive response from Vladimir Putin to the U.S. counterpart, Donald Trump's calls for a ceasefire, the offer was conveyed at last month's talks in Saudi Arabia between top Russian and American officials. The people said asking not to be identified. In order to agree to a cessation of hostilities, there would have to be a clear understanding of what the framework and principles of the final peace accord, two people with knowledge said. Now, we know that I think Trump will be in Saudi Arabia on Monday. That's when I predict we will probably have a ceasefire on Monday. We'll have to wait to find out, but it's good to see him continuing to push these people towards peace. I hope you're informed, enjoyed, and loved this video. Remember, if you went to Amazon, if you bought any of my Coffee Brand coffee on Amazon, please go back to the item you bought and leave a review today. If you have pictures, that's even better. We're trying to get to 1,000 reviews. So if you bought from Amazon, please go back and go to the product you bought, scroll down, leave a review. I greatly, greatly appreciate you helping me get launched there. You can find us, Coffee Brand Coffee, on Amazon. If you just search for it, or you search for strawberry coffee or blueberry coffee or gingerbread coffee, we're on the first page. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and I really, really appreciate your help.